Alrighty, now to our Let's Talk segment this morning. And of course, today we're highlighting World Kidney Day, which is being celebrated today in Fiji and around the world. And we welcome our guest this morning. Introduce our guest, Mavis.
Dr. Amrish, good morning to you. He's not a stranger to the set. He's been here before. Good morning to you, Doc. Okay, now today is World Kidney Day, and this is something that that's being talked about more often. And you're here with us, Dr. Amrish, to talk about a little bit about the celebrations of World Kidney Day and what is World Kidney Day and how we celebrate it here in Fiji.
Yeah, so the World Kidney Day is actually an initiative of the International Society of Nephrology and the International Federation of Kidney Foundations. And it started back in 2006, basically to recognize that kidney problems is a huge problem for the world. And so they started off in 2006, and the first year's theme was, "Are your kidneys okay?" And they sort of came to just tell people or remind people to check their kidneys.
Yeah.
And so it's progressed and it's become bigger. And last year we had the first nephrology symposium. So now Fiji is becoming aware of what's happening around the world. We had some international speakers last year, and we're having another one this year. But we're also getting into this. We're joining in this with this campaign of the World Kidney Day. And this year's theme is kidney disease in children, act early to prevent it.
All right.
And so that's one of the things we want to highlight this year.
Okay, and so that's a theme for this year, Doc. So tell us a little bit about how Fiji will be celebrating.
So we started off yesterday. Dr. Angus Ritchie came in from Sydney, and he's the nephrologist you remember seeing last time. And so we traveled to Lautoka, and we did a mini conference at the Lautoka Hospital. It was very good. Doctors and specialists, nurses and medical students and dietitians attended. And so we shared about kidney disease and some of the campaigns that the International Society of Nephrology wants to do, including the 0 by 25 project, which I'll talk a little bit about later on. And so we had that mini conference, and so today, which is the actual World Kidney Day, we have a celebration happening at the CWM Hospital. And it starts at about 10 a.m. We have the Minister of Health, the Honorable Minister of Health, Mr. Choni Osmati, will be coming in. And he will be opening the acute dialysis service.
Right.
So let me tell you a little bit about acute dialysis. So with kidney disease, you have acute kidney injury and you have chronic kidney disease. And everybody is at risk of acute kidney injury. So you and I,
including us.
Including us.
Yeah.
So if you end up with dengue fever or leptospirosis or typhoid or any infection, and several other things, even post-operatively, your kidneys can shut down. Now when your kidneys shut down, they have the potential to regenerate and to recover. But what happens in that time when the kidneys shut down is all these toxins build up, and the excess toxins can kill you. So what we've really advocated for is, we know that the country cannot afford long-term chronic dialysis. It's extremely expensive, but we're focusing our efforts on managing acute kidney injury. So when your kidneys shut down, in usually about 10 to 14 days, we support the kidneys by doing short-term dialysis. So we do the dialysis, we clean the blood, and then we pray for the kidneys to recover. And we've seen lives saved. We've seen people go back to work. And in the past, we had almost 100% mortality from acute kidney failure. So we're very excited about that, and we've invited the minister, and he'll be opening the service. And so that's that. And then straight after that, we're having a kidney booth at the hospital where we'll be doing some screening. And we'll check your blood pressure and sugar, but more importantly, we'll check your urine. So we'll dip the urine and we'll see if the urine is, if the kidneys are leaking protein into the urine. And usually that's the first sign of kidney damage.
So the theme, kidney disease in children, what are you doing working towards that theme for today?
Yeah, so unfortunately, kidney disease in children is not that common, unfortunately. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. The things that kids face are things like, some kids can have stones in their kidneys. Other common problem is what we call the reflux nephropathy, or problem with the plumbing of urine flow.
Right.
So if the urine doesn't come out properly, the back pressure starts damaging the kidney. So that's one reason why kids might have kidney damage. The other common one is what we call post-infectious glomerulonephritis. And that's a big one even for me. So and what happens is sometimes kids will have scabies, and the scabies gets infected with bacteria, and the certain particles of the bacteria then that merges with antibodies that we have, and they lodge into the kidneys, and that damages the kidney, and the kids start peeing blood, their blood pressure goes up, and they can actually have short-term acute kidney failure as well. So kids face that. There's another condition called nephrotic syndrome, where kids start losing excess amount of protein in the urine. The face gets puffy, the eyes gets puffy, and so kids also struggle through with kidney disease. And obviously the other one is acute kidney injury, and especially after a cyclone like this, we anticipate our typhoid numbers to go up, our diarrhea cases to go up, and a lot of these kids are now going to become dehydrated and at risk of having kidney injury. So yeah, we want to advocate for children, but also just to just come back to the basics. The huge part of kidney disease is actually related to NCDs, as I was telling you earlier, which are the non-communicable diseases. And diabetes and hypertension still remains the biggest killer in the country. So what we want to do is to tell people, you got to improve your lifestyle, you got to exercise, you got to eat better.
So it all starts from there.
Yeah, it all starts from there. So don't get the diabetes, and then and the hypertension, then you sort of protect yourself from getting kidney failure later on.
Yeah, because of course, we'd like to highlight all the sicknesses and the diseases. We seem to leave kidney problems, kidney diseases out a lot. But you talked to us a lot, Doc, this morning about kidneys and the importance of looking after it well, and what you're working towards or moving towards in order for that to happen. Now, I'm interested in the water and kidney relationship. Tell us a little bit about that.
So this is a very, very common question in the hospital, in the ward rounds. So the patients ask me, Doc, how much water should I drink? And traditionally everybody says, drink a lot of water, you pass a good amount of urine, and that's true. And actually, we do advocate that you drink a good amount of water. But as the kidneys start deteriorating, and really in the last stage of kidney failure, water can become harmful. And this is the analogy I try and use. You imagine a tank.
Right.
Okay, you got a big tank, and it's got a tap. So if the volume of water in the tank is low, the flow out of the tap is going to be poor.
Right.
So you fill up the tank, and the flow improves. That's something like our body. We need to be well hydrated, so we pass good amount of urine. You're passing good amount of urine. The urine is clearer. But you imagine if the tap is broken. You start filling up the tank. And the more you fill, the more loaded the tank is getting, but not necessarily more is coming out of the tap. So when people's kidneys shut down because of kidney failure, which is the last stage of whatever the cause was, like diabetes or hypertension, then drinking too much water becomes a problem. If it can't come out from the tap, then it's piling up somewhere, and so these people end up with swollen legs, shortness of breath. And in fact, we were talking about this over the ward round yesterday. Your legs, each leg can hold about 4 liters of water when it's swollen. So you can imagine 8 liters of water in your legs, just like that. And so basically my message about water is, you drink a lot of water, keep yourself well hydrated, but you got to talk to your doctor about where your kidneys are. And particularly if you're at risk of kidney failure from diabetes and hypertension, you've got to have a kidney check. So you know that in the end, water is not going to kill you actually. Yeah,
not going to be a danger to your life again. That's that's something new that I learned this morning.
So Doc, just before you go, what's happening tonight? I know there's.
So tonight we have the annual World Kidney Day dinner, and this is very interesting. Last year, which we did this for the first time, and we wanted to get about a dozen people together to share the stories about kidney, what they've been through. And we ended up doing it at the GPH, and we had about 65 people come in. They share the stories about how they got diagnosed with kidney failure and what they went through. And some of them went on to have a transplant. And so we said, we're going to make this an annual event. So this year we're having it at the Holiday Inn tonight. It starts at 7 p.m. and So we'll have patients share their stories. We've got some patients who shared their story last year when they were struggling with kidney failure, and this year one of them I know is actually back from India after having a transplant. So that's a success story. I'm really looking forward to listen to. But yeah, I mean, it's as a physician, when you really hear what patients are going through, it really makes you. I think it changes the way you practice medicine. So I'm really excited about the World Kidney Day dinner tonight.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amrish. Dr. Amrish is a specialist physician at the CWM Hospital, and congratulations on the work that you've actually been doing, and thank you so much. And also, there's more to do, and of course, this is an annual event, so we'll be talking to Doc pretty much soon. Thank you very much, Doc.